If you've ever felt that studying takes you longer than everyone else, if you've been told that you're lazy, distracted, and not trying hard enough, this video is for you. I'm Dr. Amandeep Walia. I'm a GP in Ireland and I work with students, parents, and adults with ADHD every week. And one thing I see again and again is this. These students are capable, they're intelligent, and genuinely trying. The problem is that the study systems that they're using don't match how their brains work. Today I want to explain why ADHD affects studying, what actually is going on in the brain, and the advantages of having ADHD, and what genuinely helps without shortcuts or hype. This is about studying smarter, not studying longer. ADHD is often described as a problem with attention. In reality, it's more accurate to think of it as a difference in executive function. That includes starting tasks, sustaining attention, managing time, working memory, and regulating motivation and emotion. That is why someone with ADHD can focus intensely on something interesting for hours, but struggles to start a 20-minute study session. A big part of this comes down to dopamine. Dopamine helps the brain feel interest, urgency, and reward. When dopamine signaling is low or inefficient, it's harder to initiate movement, effort, or mental work. That's why dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about getting started. What happens in ADHD is this. Dopamine signaling works differently. The brain responds less strongly to delayed rewards. So an exam in 3 months doesn't feel motivating, but something interesting or urgent can trigger intense focus. This is why ADHD isn't a deficit in attention, it's an inconsistency of attention. This part matters and often gets missed. ADHD also comes with real strengths: creativity, pattern recognition, high energy, problem solving, and the ability to hyper-focus when engaged. The problem isn't the brain. The problem is using systems designed for a different type of brain. The goal isn't to fix ADHD. The goal is to build systems that reduce friction and unlock strengths. Most study advice assumes 3 things. You can start when you decide to, you can push through boredom with willpower, and you're motivated by long-term goals. For many students with ADHD, those assumptions don't hold. This is why advice like, just revise for 2 hours, sit still and focus, be more disciplined, often backfires. It leads to frustration, guilt, and burnout, not learning. With ADHD, momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. This is where things like starting small and building up, standing desks, regular sports and exercise actually help. Never underestimate momentum. Once the fire starts, it's easier to keep it going. ADHD brains work much better with clear beginnings and endings. Aim for 15 to 20 minute sessions, one clear task, one clear win. A few 15 to 20 minute sessions done over 4 or 5 good hours like this beats 12 distracted hours. I've studied 12, 14, and even 16 hours before, but let me be honest with you and tell you it doesn't work in the long term. You don't retain information and you burn out. It's like going to the gym multiple times a day. It's not sustainable. Reading feels productive, but most of the time it isn't. What works better is testing yourself, saying things out loud, writing answers, making your own questions, explaining concepts simply. Recall is uncomfortable. That discomfort is normal. You have to be brave enough to feel disappointed during recall. That's where actual learning happens. Focus doesn't always mean silence. Many ADHD students do better with background noise or music, regular sports and exercise, standing desks, fidgeting, study buddies, or body doubling, using ADHD-friendly fonts. Something that can't be forgotten is minimizing interruptions. Phone out of reach, TV and extra screens off, boundaries with family where possible. Being prepared is underrated for the ADHD brain. Having your notes, books, laptop, charger, pens, and a plan ready reduces friction before you even start. Be careful with coffee and energy drinks. Too much stimulation can lead to increased anxiety, worsen focus, and cause crashes. Use caffeine strategically, not constantly. Exercise improves dopamine regulation, executive function, emotional support. Even short walks help. Think of study like athletic training. No athlete performs well without warm-ups and recovery. Exercise genuinely helps the ADHD brain function better. ADHD brains respond to immediate rewards. Because dopamine regulation is different, small rewards can help bridge the gap to action. Use small rewards like music, gaming, or social time. This isn't cheating, it's dopamine regulation. AI can be extremely helpful for ADHD if used properly. Examples of good uses are generating practice questions, explaining concepts simply, and acting as a tutor or examiner. Bad uses can be using it to write essays or assignments and avoiding thinking for yourself. AI should increase thinking, not replace it. I've made dedicated videos on how to use AI properly for studying. I'll link them above and in the description for you to check out later. And if these ideas are helping, liking and subscribing help this reach more students who struggle with studying in the same way. One system I use is a simple 5-stage method for reading, and it goes like this. Briefly look over the chapter, do your first read, highlight what matters, then re-highlight only exam-relevant content, and lastly create notes. By the end of the 5 steps, your chapter is complete, and the benefit is this. You're engaging with the material multiple times in different ways, not passively reading once. I'll cover this properly in a separate video. A few final points that are important to raise. Don't compare yourself to others. ADHD brains need different systems, not more effort. Studying more hours is not the same as studying better. Being busy doesn't mean being productive. 4 to 5 focused hours is optimal. Reward progress, reduce friction, protect your momentum, keep the fire going. Imagine judging a fish by how well it climbs a tree. The fish isn't broken. It isn't stupid. It isn't lazy. It just wasn't built for that task. ADHD isn't a failure of intelligence. It's a mismatch between how the brain works and how we're expected to learn. If this resonated, let me know in the comments which part felt uncomfortably accurate. And if you'd like me to do a full breakdown of the 5-stage learning method or a video on studying with dyslexia, let me know. If you want to use AI properly for studying, check out the videos I've linked in the description below. And if you think this video would help someone else, don't forget to share it with them. As always, see you on the next video.